go in through Manage Givers right in the middle here. Manage Givers also has one of these green plus signs on the giver search box. If I hit that green plus sign, it's going to give me similar options that I showed you up at the very top under Givers. So if you're managing your givers, you're just scrolling through, checking things out, and you realize you have someone you need to add, you can easily do that here with the green plus sign. If you do add membership individual, which I'll show you this in a minute, this is going to create somebody over in your membership module. If you do add donations individual giver, this is going to pull up a screen that we just saw, and that's going to create a donations individual giver. It's only going to show up in the donations module. Okay, so let's go on to the enter donation screen. I see this a lot. A lot of times people are working on entering their donations for Sunday. They're putting in a batch and they come across a new person. Okay, so let me pick a date here. Let's do last Sunday. And let's say I come across a name that I'm not familiar with. So I have an example here. I'm going to type in William Arnold. Now, as I start typing William Arnold, I see that I don't have any results. Okay, so I don't have anybody by this name. Now, another thing you want to check before you go in and start creating a new person is I want to show you this little trick. There's an inactive checkbox, okay? If you check this box, it's going to include anybody that used to be a member of the church or was a member, but they have since been marked inactive or hidden. Okay, so once you check that box, then try typing in the person's name again. And as you can see, I do have a William Arnold already in the list. So if this is the correct person, and you can help verify that by the address, if this is who I need, then you don't need to come over here and hit the plus sign to create him again. He's already in the database. You would just need whomever works in membership to make him active again, and then he'll no longer be that red color for you. But you can still put a gift in on an inactive person. Okay? So let's backspace this out. And I do want to show you how we can add somebody on the fly right here. So let's say I type in a new person. I have the inactive box checked up. They don't checked off. They don't come up. So I need to create a new person, okay? Let's say this is going to be a visitor. This is someone who is interested in joining the church. I'm going to hit my little plus sign here, and I'm going to go to Add Membership Individual Giver. We're going to do this one in a second, guys, so bear with me. But let's go with this one. I want this person to show up over in the membership side as a visitor. Once I select that box, I have two options. Excuse me. I can choose new family, or I can choose existing family. So if I have an individual that I need to put in, but their family is already set up over in membership, I could choose existing and just add that person to the family I already have over in membership. But if it's a brand new family, I need to go with new, so we're going to stick with that. I'm going to specify what category I want. I want this person to be a visitor. They're a new person. I'm not sure if they're going to continue coming, but I know they're not just going to be someone who's here for a memorial or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and choose visitor. I'm going to put in their mailing label. We're just going to do Mr. Bob Smith. If you have an address for them, feel free to put that in, just like I showed you on the last screen with the plus sign. Sometimes you're not going to have addresses for people right off the bat. That's fine. Just skip right over it. Phone, mailing code, geographic area, comments. These are all optional. They do not have to be filled in at this moment, but if you know it, go ahead and fill it in. Over on the right, first name. So keep in mind, if you're familiar with membership, the left-hand side of your screen is going to be your family information. The right-hand side is going to be the individuals that make up your family. Okay, so I have to put Bob in, or you can put in Robert and put in a nickname of Bob if you know that. If you know their birthday, feel free to put that in. Directory report order. This field should really be filled in. This is really important. Even if this person isn't going to be in the directory, this field still needs to be filled in because it tells the program really who's who within each family. Okay, so if there's just one person in the household or one person that you know of at this point, just go ahead and choose the directory report order of primary. Also, you can put individual comments in down here. Now, if you know Bob has a wife, say her name's Mary, and you want to put Mary in as well, you can come down here and hit add another individual. The screen's going to update, and we can see Bob's already been put in, but then this is going to be empty again, allowing you to put in anyone else in Bob's family. Okay? Once you're done, you just hit the X down at the bottom or say OK. Bob's been created, and now we see we have Bob Smith. He's here in my giver box. I can continue putting in donations for him at this point and just add them to the batch. Okay, so that's a really handy way to add people in on the fly while you're putting your donations in. All right, let me clear this out and let's go on to page 9. We're going to talk about adding a group. So to add a group, you can do that here with the plus sign and choosing Add Donations Group Giver. Or we can go up here to the top under Givers and choose Add Group. So some options, I should say, or examples of what a group giver would be. Say you have a Sunday school class that does a little collection each time they meet, and you want to put donations in under the Sunday school class's name. That would be your group name here. Or say you have a business, or maybe someone passed away and their place of employment made a donation, a memorial in their name. You could create them over here in donations. So let's do a Sunday school class because that's the example in the book over on page 9. So let's go ahead and put in a group name of Loyal Hands Sunday School. Again, giver number's optional. If you want Loyal Hands Sunday School to receive a donation statement at the end of the year, keep that checked. If not, simply uncheck it. You can put an address in, a phone, and an email if you wish, but again, you don't have to. Say this group always meets at the church Sundays at 9, then you could leave that empty. Go ahead and hit Add Group. It's going to create that Loyal Hands Sunday School class, and then you can hit Finish Adding Groups. Now to double check that that group was created, we are going to go into Manage Givers, and we're going to come here to Families and Groups, and this is where we will find our Loyal Hands Sunday School group that we put in. And it does have a D, and it does have Donations Giver checked. That tells us that this Loyal Hands Sunday School class is a donations group. Okay, let's see. Let me go ahead and turn the page. Oh, I also want to show you here too on individual givers. This is the characters after people's names are really helpful, the letters that you see. So anyone that you see with a V, that's going to tell you they're from membership visitors. Anybody who has a D, that's going to be a donations giver. And then anybody who doesn't have a letter after, it's going to have an M. Okay, now keep in mind if you're on one of our newer versions, versions 20 or 21, you do have the ability to customize the V or add an M or maybe an F if you're doing friends, but the D is for donations giver. But there is some customizing that you can do now in membership if you wish. Okay. You do have the option over in membership. I'm not going to jump into it too deep, but in the membership module, if you're familiar with that, you can create groups and classes. Groups and classes over in membership do have the ability to give as well. So if you create all of your committees and your Sunday school classes over in membership as a group or class, that's totally acceptable, but by doing that, those groups do have the option to give over in donations as well. All right, guys, that really covers everything I wanted to go over with you today. Let me go look at the questions section and see if we have anything coming in here. If you do have a question that has to do with what we've covered, please feel free to type that in, and we will do our best to get you an answer. Looks like Kellyanne got some answers in here already. Someone's asking, will you be covering how to change a donations giver to a visitor member and merge giving for that individual? I will point it out to you, Jenny, but I'm not going to have time to go in it. We only have 5 minutes left. Up here at the top, if you are on one of our newer versions, we do have this. Let me grab my highlighter. We do have this transfer to member feature. So if you have people that you have entered through donations as a donations giver, by using this transfer to member function, that will allow you to change that donations giver over to an individual from membership. That's what this button right here. Kellyanne did put a note here. We do have a pre-recorded webinar. So if you go out to churchwindows.com, you can look up this transfer to member feature and you'll be able to watch a video on that. Someone's asking about how do we fix duplicate givers. Duplicates can definitely be an issue. We do have a bunch of documentation on our website on that. If you go out to churchwindows.com and the little magnifying glass, just type in duplicate. You'll get lots of good information. We have a document and we also have some recorded videos. But the main thing with duplicates is figuring out which is a good one or the one you're going to be keeping and then transferring everything to that good one. Now keep in mind, if there's any giving on a giver, they can't be deleted. You can make them inactive, which will hide them, but at this point in our program, we do not have the option to delete people if they have any transactions to their name. Barry's asking if they gave in previous years, will they always remain in this system? Barry, yes. At this point, that is the case. I know programmers are looking into some type of archive feature for the future, but at this point in the program, even if their giving is from multiple years ago, there is that transaction history, so the program will not allow you to remove them. Just make sure that you mark them inactive, and that'll help clean up your database. All right, if there's any other questions, feel free to type those in. If I don't see anything else pop in, I'm going to go ahead and close up shop. I do want to point out on our website for you where you can order the workbook if you have any interest in that. So it's just www.churchwindows.com, and up at the top, if you go to supporting and go into our support center, I believe is where it is. Let's double check. Oh, here's all our videos. I'm sorry. Let me jump back. Here we go. Beginning training workbooks. It's right there in front of me. Training workbooks. Like I said, today I covered the D101 workbook, pages 5 through 10, but there's a lot of good options out here. You can also bundle them and save some money that way. But I don't see any other questions coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar. I hope you all learned something new today that helps make your lives a little bit easier. But once the webinar is over, if you do come up with questions or have something specific for us, just give us a call or email us at support@churchwindows.com. Hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks for attending.